Welcome to Jerking Around, a podcast that makes you feel better about yourself because we're a mess just like you.
And Crystal makes fun of me the whole time.
And it's great, and it's real. Welcome to Jerking Around. Today, we talk about how much trouble we get in for this podcast.
And we break down Christmas.
And being a healthy giver in the bedroom.
Oh, we didn't talk about UFOs. We'll talk about that next time.
Listen along.
Welcome.
Jerking Around. So, there's so much to talk about today because we skipped a week because Tisha went on a traveling ban again.
Stop.
Not ban, that's the wrong word. But she went to Disneyland and to see family. So we missed last week, which was fine. Tyler and I were very sick, but Tyler doesn't stop working. He worked the whole time.
Yeah.
But we got in a lot of trouble while we were gone. We had our first TikTok go viral, which is pretty exciting.
Yeah.
But Tisha was in the fetal position the whole time.
Yeah, I don't think it was exciting.
Tisha hated it. I loved it. If you guys saw, it was about Justin Bieber and P. Diddy's alleged story. But what's so interesting about that is I feel like Tisha and I have obviously been conspiracy or truth people. A lot of our friends say it's conspiracy. We don't think so. But I mean, some stuff is like we didn't think the election would go like it did. And I've gone too far many times where I believe all of it sometimes. But I've been watching people for years. And I feel like when you get censored, you've made it. And our video got taken off of TikTok all by itself. Like, we had no say in it. So the alleged thing that we talked about, and you have to listen because I don't think Tisha will let me say it again.
Right.
But the alleged thing is between...
What episode was that on?
Justin
times
Bieber
ago, right?
and P. Diddy's sons, the alleged story.
Alleged.
Being
the keyword.
Why would TikTok take it down? There's so much garbage on TikTok. Why would they have taken it down if it's not maybe true? That's where I'm at.
Well, what happened?
We're getting in. My husband's like, stop talking. I don't want people at the house.
I know. I'm scared. I was like, and the people are so mean on the comments. They were calling me old and all these things. And then they were saying I was going to get sued by Justin Bieber. And I lost sleep over these comments.
Truth be told, we love Justin Bieber. He's like one of my favorite people ever.
And all I was saying, it was literally a 2-second clip of our whole podcast. I said, I saw online that one of the lawsuits against Diddy, she was alleging that this happened. And it went viral. And it was like, I mean, it made me feel bad though for celebrities. You know, like when celebrities are like, oh, they're the mean comments online. I'm always like Kylie Jenner's like, oh, the mean comments. I'm like, oh my gosh, who cares? Like the mean comments.
You really do.
Now I understand the comments are so mean and it's so upsetting. And then thinking I was going to get sued, I was so stressed out. So maybe we need to have a disclaimer. This is just stuff we've heard and read and seen, and this is not factual until it's proven.
I think the fact that it got taken down is factual, but Tisha's more worried than I am. Maybe I should be more worried. I just think, I didn't know, I should have spit out my gum. I didn't know all this stuff before you, and I feel like it's also our job to, it's not about obviously in that story, but I do think people need to know more that this stuff is out there, and the only way they find out is by talking about it. I'm not saying everything's true, but I'm saying think about it. When you start thinking about all of it, I don't even want to go into Oprah, but we're going there. But Oprah has all these schools for kids, and they talk about the kids that are being trafficked a lot of times are in a system. That's why their parents aren't fighting for them.
A lot of foster kids are trafficked.
It's awful.
That's a fact.
And the fact that a few of these celebrities who supposedly if we go into the Wayfair scandal.
Yeah.
So the Wayfair scandal was actually Pizzagate. There was a documentary I watched on YouTube about the pizza thing. And did you hear Diddy talking about pizza from jail?
No.
Wait, for real? Oh my gosh. He's talking to one of his guards and he's like, you got to remove the pizza boxes from jail. It's a recorded call. And he's like, any
that
unused...
can't be real. Really?
Oh, okay. I mean, it's Diddy and Justin Bieber.
No, I'm just saying, why would he be talking? How does he have a pizza box in jail?
No, at his house. When he first got arrested, he's telling them to remove unused pizza boxes.
Oh.
That means kids.
Yeah.
That are in the tunnels. The tunnels is a whole new thing, though.
I know. I did see the tunnel. I saw a tunnel video about a guy who worked at a Starbucks underneath the tunnel. He was on a podcast, and he was saying he was the barista at a Starbucks underneath these tunnels that like the elites take to get around the city faster. But then some people said a comment, and I felt like it was actually a really good point. They were like, why would Kobe be driving a helicopter then to get away with traffic?
Yeah. But a helicopter's still faster than the tunnels.
True.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it was like far.
Yeah.
So they probably didn't
saying they pop up everywhere like LAX.
No, we got it. Tyler, I don't know about you, but I like playing the clips when I listen. I like it.
You used to work at a secret Starbucks, is that right? Yeah, there is a Starbucks that is like above reserve, like a Starbucks no one's ever heard of or been to. All right. Have you ever wondered while driving in Los Angeles, how come you've never seen like Will Smith stuck in traffic on the 405? Yeah. I've never seen a 1%er just in their car stuck in traffic. Why is that? That's because there's a series of intricate tunnels underneath Los Angeles known as the actor bond. I'm not kidding. Like, they get access points to move through the city without ever having to be in traffic. You can come up in LAX. You can pop up at Dodger Stadium. Underneath there in those tunnels is Starbuckses set up at different locations to allow them to get coffees while they're driving. All of them.
Yeah, they don't pay there either.
You've seen Seinfeld down there? Bono. I've seen Seinfeld down there. Dude, almond milk latte, 2 shots. Wow. Yeah. Was he a good tipper? They don't have to pay. So this has been
crazy. This is alleged, but it's on another podcast. Bill Posey is his name. It's on his podcast. This guy had an NDA signed and it expired, so now he's allowed to talk about it.
But then someone was saying NDAs don't expire.
You never know how it's written.
Yeah.
It could have been your term of while you're working at Starbucks. It's not like a normal NDA. It's like a employment NDA. So it could have been while they were working at, these are all alleged things.
Yeah.
But it's weird how much the tunnel topic comes up. That's my whole thing is like when I first heard about the underground tunnels at people's houses, I was like, okay. Then when it came up like 10 different times, 10 different things, I'm like, this is kind of weird. So we're not saying it's true. We're saying look into it if you're curious.
Well, there was a girl that was like allegedly trafficked, and she was saying she was moved through the tunnels. But then they were calling her crazy. So I don't know.
That's what they called Kanye when he was trying to speak up about all these people. Like it is crazy.
Mel Gibson.
But it's, like the people that have died of pneumonia.
The hamburger.
What?
Mel Gibson, when they like made him crazy because he was like something with the hamburger.
What did he do with the hamburger?
He was drunk, and so they like released this video because he was talking about all the trafficking and pedophilia, and then they tried to make him look like he was like
now I'm getting
drunk.
scared.
I know, yeah. I'm scared.
Okay. Anyways,
maybe we should cut.
No, we're not cutting. Tisha woke up this morning, want to cut every episode, everything, because I got in a little trouble this weekend. You know, this life isn't for the weak.
Yeah.
I've gotten in trouble by friends and family. So if you're one of my friends and family and you secretly listen, I love you and I love all of your beliefs, and any of our friends that believe differently than us, we love you. But Tisha and I just think when we're alone and we're talking, it's interesting. So we just want to share what it's like being on the...
Well, when you're here, it doesn't seem like anyone's going to listen. And then when it's out there, it's very different.
I listen to our episodes and I don't think there's anything that wrong. I think part of my whole passion project with this thing is I think there's so much fakeness in the world that I'm so sick of the fakeness. I talk to so many women because I'm a little bit more outgoing than Tisha, but I talk to people about weird things. And when I talk to people, I get like really deep, really fast. And I've talked to so many people that are like, wait, you go through that, or your marriage isn't perfect all the time, or you get sick of your kids. And I think that's what people are curious about old school reality TV. Like when the Kardashians first came out, it was interesting that they're like us.
Yeah.
You know, and like when I used to subscribe to Us Weekly, my favorite section was They're Like Us. We're not celebrities at all, but I think sometimes we're so open with each other.
It's the connecting with people.
Because we've been friends for so long that we're not fake to each other. And I just want to share that with other people. Like when you tell me about you and Ben's fights, I feel more normal.
Right.
And when you tell me that your family time isn't like lolly-da like it looks on Instagram, and you're my best friend.
Right.
I'm like, okay. Like Kyle and I, this holidays were super weird for me this year without my dad. And my family was on a cruise and I didn't see my other family. It was hard. I think last year we went on a cruise and we got to escape it.
Right.
And it was hard. And like one night I was like, this isn't like what it's supposed to be. Like it's supposed to be. And Kyle's like, Crystal, my husband, he's like, that's not real. Everybody has hard times and everybody goes through this. And you're like too hard on yourself because I always worry if I'm enough. Mm-hmm. Was my Christmas enough? Is our family time enough? Am I working too much? Am I being a good enough wife? Like I literally stress about being enough every day. So I just want people to know all these things are normal. And the things we talk about, the celebrity gossip is just fun. Like it's interesting.
That's what we really talk about sometimes.
We do talk about this all the time. And we don't really, you don't have to agree or not agree. It's just interesting. And it's like an escape.
It's not a conspiracy podcast, but we do talk about that stuff. So we just included it, you know?
Yeah. And like, to me, I think those celebrities put themselves out there. It's part of the territory. As the comments that were coming in, I told Tisha not to listen, not to read them. The people that are commenting don't know us. Like, who cares what random people think about us? And I do think we're going to have to get a thicker skin if we're going down this path.
Well, that's the thing. I thought I had a thick skin.
No, you don't.
And then I was like, oh, shoot, I don't.
No, I know you don't. That's why I don't want you to listen because you worry too much about what random people think. Who cares?
Yeah, it was very...
oh my God.
And I honestly in life, I don't care what people think because I don't ever put myself out there.
Yeah, see, that's I put myself out there all the time.
Is because I very much am like, I don't care what anybody thinks. And I do feel that way because I don't, but I've never put myself out there, so they don't really know me. So I know when they think something, I'm like, that's stupid. But now I'm like, I'm putting myself out there and I'm getting called old and mid and all these crazy things. And I'm like, it's awful.
They were like, why do these two have a podcast? It's stupid. She's crying. I'm like, oh, no. I'm like, Tyler believes in us, our pod daddy.
I know. I was like, old?
And we don't care. We're just doing this, honestly. It feels like a calling.
Yeah.
Like we're supposed to do it. Not that we're supposed to talk about celebrities and this stuff, but I just like, if I'm going to say something, this is who I try to be. If I'm going to say something behind your back, I hope that I would say it to your face.
Right.
So to edit the podcast to make sure everybody's happy, I just feel like it's fake. If I'm going to say certain things to you, I don't want to not say that in front of other people because that's fake. And a passion project for me is Christians, people judge Christians for being one way and then in secret being another way. And so like I was listening to last week's episode and it wasn't my favorite listening to me have some drinks in college. And I was really honest about that. Mm-hmm. I felt like an idiot listening. I'm like, oh my gosh, my cheerleaders are going to know this. But I'm like, but that's not fair because that is my story. I was a Christian that went off the clear path. And that's part of God's journey for me is that grace is where he loves us in spite of all the things. Grace is in spite of. If you're going to say, like, I didn't do everything right, but I still ended up with a great husband and a great life. And I'm getting on a soapbox for those of you that think maybe you've made too many mistakes, that you can't get right. You can get right. Like, we are both so not perfect. So I am a Christian. I try to be more like Jesus every day. But the truth is, half the day I'm doing it wrong. I am so doing it wrong and I'm trying to do it right, but I'm not ashamed of that because that's his job to judge us. And it's his job to love us in spite of ourselves. And as Christians and as people, I hope we try to have more grace with others too. So those friends and family that are mad at me right now, maybe have some grace and know I'm just talking about shows. It's not offensive to you. So, you know, I got in trouble for talking about certain shows and maybe I offended a certain culture, but I'm not trying to, but we did talk about these shows. We talk about them all the time. So I don't know, this soapbox is a tangent, but
it's hard.
I hope that we're being authentic to who we really are. And if you don't really like who we are,
don't listen.
A lot of times people's offense is really more to do with them. Which is funny because last week's podcast, because I asked a few of like our jerkies and friends and family that listen to every podcast if I offended them with certain things that I've said and this and that. And they're like, no, not at all. You know, you got to listen to the whole episode for it to make sense. But last week's episode was about don't be easily offended. It was about that church service.
Oh, yeah.
So I was talking to my cousin. I'm like, was I offensive to this person, that person? She's like, no. She's like, and the funniest thing is last week's episode was about don't be easily offended.
Well, hopefully they listened to that episode.
Well, and when I re-listened, it reminded me, I can't live for what people want. I have to live to who God created me to be. And he created me to do this podcast with my best friend. And I mean, I'm not saying what we say isn't always right. We're just being ourselves. So that's my soapbox. Moving on, let's talk about more celebrity. Okay, Kim Kardashian. Again, she's not my friend. This is not alleged because the video of her doing Santa Baby is god awful.
It's very weird.
I just think like I don't want their life. I do kind of want their Christmas Eve party. Sometimes it looks pretty fun. Like maybe I just want to be invited.
Yeah.
But I don't anymore now that I know.
Did they not have it this year though? Because I didn't see
It's real secret. So Chloe didn't go with the kids.
Right. But no one posted. Usually they post everything.
Oops, maybe it was in the tunnels.
Maybe.
No. But it's weird.
Yeah.
But Kim's life, I just feel like I feel bad. I feel like she's chasing all those things. And I don't think her family life is as fun as she would want it to be if she wasn't in the spotlight. I think there's a lot of negative that comes with being in the spotlight.
Oh, totally.
You know?
Yeah, the video, though, is really bizarre if anyone has seen it. It's she does a cover of Santa Baby, and Travis Barker produced the music video, which I was like, oh, that's kind of disappointing because I really liked him.
Yeah, but he's an artist.
Yeah.
Like, if it wasn't Kim Kardashian, it'd be a video you'd watch just because you're, like, weird. Like, artists aren't, like...
Yeah, it was very dark and disturbing, the video, I thought.
I didn't watch the whole thing.
Oh, you didn't? There's, like... Jesus is in it. And
I didn't see that.
Yeah, it's like...
I just watched her crawling on the floor and stopped.
No, there's like... It's like Jesus is in it, but it's like weird. There's like a lot of really weird, dark...
Oh, I didn't watch the whole thing.
Like satanic vibes. It was just weird. I don't know. I didn't love it.
But do you see how they dress?
Yeah.
But it's weird because they talk about God all the time.
That's what I was like...
It's very confusing. Yeah. I don't think we'll know what really goes on.
I was like, I would be uncomfortable making that video because I feel like God would be like, look, you know?
Yeah.
So it was different.
Yeah, it is a war out there right now. Good and evil. It's true. So, speaking of, let's talk about Christmas and how it was. You were out of town. How was that? We were out of town last year. It was weird.
It was
gone
weird.
For Christmas.
And I feel like the kids, well, first we went to Disneyland and that was before Christmas. So that was fine because it is Christmassy there. But then we went
you tell, you're not going to like this.
Oh, no.
Can you tell the story about when you got mad at everybody and yelled about being ungrateful?
We did. I told it last week.
No, you told it to me in private.
No, we covered it here. Remember I said I cried? I said the F word?
Oh. Yeah,
I didn't say what word. Now I know.
Yeah, you did tell all that, and now you won't let us play that episode.
Yeah. It's not my proudest moment as a mom.
It is a good episode.
Yeah.
We'll play it eventually. Okay, so Tisha yelled at her kids before you went to Disneyland.
Right.
I think that's a very relatable. That story helped me. Like, I thought about it throughout the week, and I was like, see, I'm not alone, feeling like I do, and it's too much.
Right.
So I thought that was relatable. It was relatable for me.
Yeah.
I felt better.
It's just a delicate balance of giving them so much, and then I'm mad at them because they're not grateful. So I don't know the answer. I don't know. It's really, like, I feel like that's the biggest issue with raising my kids right now. Like, what we're dealing with is I feel like they're spoiled, but I'm the one that's creating that.
Yeah.
So I'm struggling because, you know, I'm like, how do I combat that? We talked, obviously.
Yeah, we did talk about it.
Going on mission trips. There's, you know, giving, which I did. We gave to a group home in the neighborhood, and we, like, my kids were very involved in picking out the things, and, like, they were really excited about it. So that was, like, nice. And I do think they're giving. They're just ungrateful for themselves, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, they're very giving, but they're just kind of like, I don't know. It's just, yeah. So we took him to Disneyland because, you know, spoiled. No, but I've been wanting to take Fox because he's taller now. He couldn't go on the rides, little buddy, before. Now he's tall enough to go, and that was mostly the reason I wanted to go. So we went, and it was fun. But it didn't feel Christmassy, like, especially being gone. You know all the things you do leading up to Christmas, like the hot chocolate and the Christmas movies and going to look at lights. We didn't do any of that this year, and it was kind of weird, and it felt like it came really fast, and I don't know. I didn't have the same Christmas vibe, and I feel like it wasn't, like, we went to church, but we went to church in Texas. We didn't go to our normal church, and I do feel like normally at Christmas, I'm very aware of, like, the reason we're celebrating the birth of Jesus. And I feel like it was more about presents, and it wasn't as, like, about that this year.
I feel the same, which is funny because I was home this year.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I still felt like it wasn't about the right things too.
Really?
And I was trying to combat it. I had the weirdest couple days. Tisha was out of town.
Yeah.
And
anytime I leave and she has like a struggle, it's like I'm always gone.
Yeah, it was bad. And I, like, last time you went, I was like, I'm okay. This time, my brother was gone. My mom was
Everyone
gone.
was gone.
It was just, it was weird.
Well, that's why it felt weird for you.
Yeah, no, but all the things, have you ever just done the things and we're like, we're doing these things.
But it's not feeling
to do
the
things.
Same. Yeah.
So, and I don't think Instagram helps. When I was living in the trailer, we lived in a trailer for 6 months while we built our house. And it was one of my favorite now memories, but in the time was one of the hardest things you remember.
Yeah.
Because I don't think I had told everybody, like Regina, one of our friends, she always says, you make things look easy. And I agree. Like, I don't always tell the hard to everybody, but I feel like you always get. Right. So I don't think you would say that.
Right.
You're like, yeah, I don't think you make it look easy.
Yeah.
No, you've said it about little things.
Yeah.
But I don't like share when I'm really going through hard with a lot of people. I only share it with like you, Kyle, Jen, or any of you that are listening that are my good friends. You've seen it. But so I don't always share that. But during the trailer, I had to get off Instagram during the holidays because we had a little tree like 4 foot, not even, like 3 foot on our table outside, and it kept falling down because we couldn't put a tree in the trailer. And all the traditions, it was COVID, and it was like we couldn't watch a movie in the trailer.
Right.
We couldn't like do any Christmas activities. So I had to get off Instagram because I was getting so like bitter seeing everyone have perfect Christmas that I felt like so unworthy. Like I was like, oh, I didn't go see Zoo Lights.
Right.
And I didn't go have family movie night with hot cocoa. And I caught myself comparing, and it was getting weird. So I got off Instagram for like all of December and January, and it was one of my favorite times.
Yeah.
Because I noticed when you don't have that on your phone, which there's so many weird apps now, like I go to when I'm bored. Not weird. That sounds dark. Like Instagram, like TikTok.
Yeah.
I don't gamble on my phone anymore. But like you go to, like, there's a lot. And like you can go on Facebook and go to Shorts, which is its own other avenue of self-distraction that you can stay on. So I feel like back then it was just Instagram. Shorts weren't a thing. So it wasn't so if I took that off, I had nothing.
Well, it's hard because I do feel like I am reluctant to post things on Instagram, but then I also want the memories for myself. So it's hard to know, like, because you don't want to ever put something in anyone's face or be like, oh, it's perfect, because it's not. But then I don't want to complain on there either, because then I seem ungrateful. So it's just really, it's weird.
It's the same thing, though.
Yeah.
People are going to have a problem with their own insecurities come out in other people's Instagram.
Yeah.
Like people having a happy Christmas had nothing to do with me.
Right.
It was them sharing their happy Christmas.
Right.
But because my Christmas was so different than theirs, I was jealous.
Right.
It had nothing to do. They were allowed to post their movie night.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I'm saying? So I think sometimes it's people's own insecurities. And so whether you post or not,
totally.
It's their own insecurity. It was my own insecurity.
Yeah.
But during that Christmas, there was a point to the trailer.
I think back to what you're saying, you didn't feel Christmassy to you. I feel like sometimes when kids get older, I think that's part of the change too, because this year we knew we were leaving. So we like threw up our tree last minute because Fox was begging for it. Like if we didn't have Fox, I don't even think we would have put up a Christmas tree this year, because we knew we were going out of town. We were gone for Thanksgiving. We were home for 2 weeks. You know what I mean? So it's weird because I feel like when they get older is when you need to do them the most, but it's kind of when you're like, oh, well, that's not as important.
I know, it's kind of annoying though. All the good stuff I did, like when they were young, they don't remember. Right. I had like really good Christmases when they were young, and we do all this creative stuff. So my kids are doing
Remember we had the Christmas party with all the kids and we decorate cookies. Remember at like Danae's? Yeah. But it's weird. We don't do any of that now. And it's like, I feel like it's less Christmassy, but maybe it's because of that. But I don't know. Fox was
I'm not doing the elf in the shelf. Now that they know, I hate that thing.
Well, my older kids do it for We
did that for a year. Everybody knows. And we forget about the elf. It's ruining their Christmas more than it's happy. It's dumb. I'm not moving the elf. Tooth Fairy's dead. All these things are gone. Yeah. But my kids kept telling me, it doesn't feel like Christmas.
This year?
Yes.
Really?
And it was getting on my nerves so bad, because I'm like, we try to do family movie night 50 times, but I'm just tired. Yeah. Like we ran around all day, and then when we'd get home, I'd be like, family movie night, and they would want to be alone. Mm-hmm. And we were together for like 5 days, like straight. No friends, no nothing. So I'm like, this isn't a big deal. But what are the things that make it feel like Christmas? Because we did go to church. It wasn't our home church. We did have a Christmas party that I let the kids be at, but it was different. It wasn't kid-centered. But like, what are the things? You know what I mean?
Traditions. I don't know.
So I didn't have a lot of family traditions growing up. Natalie, my best friend, who does listen in and out, and I've talked about a lot. Her dad, Tom, who I went to Guatemala with, he always had like, we would go to the Mormon temple and look at lights. We had the Christmas traditions, and I loved jumping into her family traditions. And she actually, her aunt had a Christmas party. And that was one of the reasons why I want to have a Christmas party with kids.
Right.
Like Santa came, gave gifts. It was like every year we couldn't wait for this Christmas party.
Right.
But the traditions, I think sometimes are also what adds so much stress to our plate.
Right.
Because I have been like, maybe I was Scrooge-ish this year. So like I didn't get all people gifts like I normally do. We normally do wrapping paper for all of our clients, and we didn't do that this year. We had a work dinner. Usually we do a work Christmas party that we didn't do this year. We just went to lunch with the 4 of us because our team's smaller now, and I didn't want to get gifts. Everyone's like, I'm like, don't get gifts. And a few people were like, we're going to get gifts. And I thought, I'm not going to get a gift just because I have to get a gift because everyone else is getting me gifts, and I'm going to spend money, and I'm just not.
Right.
And I honestly thought that lunch was amazing. Like when I was there and present, it's like sometimes I feel like we put all these things on our plate to check them off, but yet do we really want to do them?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, like I coach with a bunch of coaches that I love, and I didn't get them gifts, but like not that I didn't want to. I feel like we go in debt so far at Christmas, or you put so much pressure on yourself to do all these things that I think sometimes it ruins the spirit of Christmas. But like for me, I felt very present, but my kids were missing it. I don't know. So as moms, I also feel like moms really get a lot put on them for Christmas. Like I know
they do the whole Christmas.
Yes.
My husband's like, what'd we get? You know?
Yeah. And Bonnie, my mother-in-law, does an amazing job. And Lance, my father-in-law, did a great job of giving her credit. And she makes it magical. She does a scavenger hunt, and she's
very good at that.
She's amazing. And as a mom, I like appreciate her more. I made our kids do a little scavenger hunt to be like her this year. And she does a great job of doing the things. And I think sometimes maybe those things make it cool.
Yeah.
But moms have to do most of the shopping, which I had Kyle, my husband. He's like a really smart money man, you've heard, but I get in trouble for spending 24/7. It's the biggest thing we fight about, I think, is money. And I haven't been working as much because, as you know, I was quitting. So he's had a little bit more say on my spending. It's been a real joy.
Yeah.
So I had him order the Christmas gifts. I started this way because what happens is he
has no idea what anything costs.
No,
he's
he
like
doesn't.
Out of touch.
We go to dinner and he's like, that was $50. I'm like, welcome to the world. So I've decided that I'm going to let him buy the gift so that when he wants to yell about the credit card, he can yell at himself.
Yeah.
Because what happens is we discuss how much we're spending. We go over the gifts. And then when I buy them, he's like, did you see the credit card? There's thousands on the credit card. And I'm like, I know. Remember when we talked about getting those gifts and you said to put them on the credit card for points? And now you're mad. Yeah. So he bought the gift. So Tana's like, how's it going? I'm like, he's still yelling about the credit card. It's like magic. He thinks that like we'll be like, okay, we're going on a trip. We're going to buy flights.
Right.
So I'm like, do you want me to put it on our credit card, or do you want me to put it on, like, we both have work credit cards, but it's not a work expense. He's like, nope, put it on the personal. And then the next day he'll be like, did you see there's $1,000 on the credit card?
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, remember last night when we said it's like, it's the weirdest thing.
Yeah, he's like,
it doesn't
it's a
correlate.
disconnect.
Yeah. So I'm getting yelled at about the credit card, but
so funny.
But moms have so much to do. Like they do the wrapping, they do the shopping, they do the setup the night before. And I just think there was a point to this. Oh, Kyle, I don't remember the point.
The moms. You said the moms have a lot of pressure.
Yeah, a lot of moms, like Krista, our friend, was posting. She likes to do it by herself to make it magical, and she appreciates that her mom does this or that. But I felt more
Well, I do feel like I really want to make it magical, and I want to get all the best gifts for the kids, and I want to spoil them. And I do feel like when they're not reacting the way that I'm like, I want this like reaction, and if I don't get it, I'm like mad.
Yeah.
And I think that is what happened. That was what led up to the fight of not feeling like the kids are grateful, is because I think behind the scenes I was doing all the Christmas stuff and knowing what was coming, and we're doing this and we're doing that. And then my kids were just acting like ungrateful. And I'm like, you don't even know what I'm doing for you, you know?
Behind the scenes.
But you can't do that. Like if I'm choosing to do that for myself, like I can't be mad at them, you know?
I know. I was mad. I forgot I had a whole point to this. That story doesn't make sense now.
Oh, no.
But we'll find it.
Yeah.
But I think that the gifts getting, there was a point.
The moms, you had Kyle help.
Yeah, I don't know.
When that happens.
I don't know the point. But I think, so it's funny because your kids called my kids to tell them what they got.
Because we did it early.
Yes. And they were so excited to tell them what they got.
Oh,
like, they
really?
were thrilled with their Christmas.
Oh, really?
Yeah, isn't that funny?
Yeah, it was like, oh, this whole thing, and I'm all, that was $500.
Because my kids are all, like mad that they didn't get those things.
Yeah.
But they didn't have Christmas yet. But the reaction coming this way was so excited.
Oh, yeah, because it was like no big deal.
Like, I was in your Christmas.
Yeah.
I was like, Bear got the phone, Ken got this and that.
Yeah.
And then, like, on Christmas Day, it was the second we got the Dyson hair wrap.
Yeah.
Bear got the Oculus. Like, they were jacked. So I saw the jackedness on this side.
Oh, yeah, because I was like, oh, well, I guess, Mom dishes out all this money for Christmas.
Should I have gotten the Dyson hair wrap? But no.
Well, it was the shark, but same thing.
The same. Yeah. But the funny thing is, I don't think it's always those things, because maybe that's what my kids were missing, was the magic of Christmas. Like, we wrapped all the gifts ahead of time, and I put them in bags. I don't wrap because it takes forever.
Right.
So you can buy Christmas bags. They're amazing, and we reuse them. But we had them all set out in our room, and the kids are like, great, Mom.
Yeah.
The bags are here. But now I'm thinking, my kids, Maddie's actually on Instagram now. Hudson's on Snapchat. Maybe they're comparing
everyone else
to everyone else. Because I'm like, what are they mad at?
Yeah.
We're doing the same things we always do.
Right.
That's maybe what was happening.
Probably when you see, it's like the FOMO. Yeah.
Of like, everyone else is
Better
doing
life.
the elf.
Yeah.
Because I was in trouble about the elf.
Well, I wasn't really on Instagram a lot during I would post something at Disney on my story or something, but I wasn't scrolling.
Yeah.
And I feel like I was way more
present.
And I didn't feel like I missed anything.
Yeah. I didn't feel as bad. When you don't see it, you don't care. But I think it's important to know everything, like what Tisha and I talked about a few weeks ago when you were talking about your trips and I was talking about my family movie night. And we had the epiphany, this episode hasn't aired yet, that yours isn't as great as what it looks.
Right.
And mine isn't as great as what it looks. I think we just have to remember it's not as great as what it looks.
No,
like even
is.
Growing up, my parents didn't have a lot of money. My mom listens now. It's really funny because she didn't listen forever. So I get calls now. Why'd you say that
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, but we didn't. But they did always get us what we wanted for Christmas. They probably totally charged it or did whatever. And I do remember that they really listened to what we wanted.
Right.
And I think sometimes we don't. It's cute. Like Kyle's family wants to do everything like their mom. Bonnie would never know how much, my mother-in-law, she would never know how much they want to emulate their childhood.
So cute.
Yeah, I think it's the biggest compliment.
Yeah.
But she would never know, that they really want to do everything like them. And I was just listening to someone else talk about their mom, and I was like, that mom has no idea. I got to remember, it's one of our friends, that their kids are trying to do everevering like them.
Yeah,
that's
so cute.
And I think sometimes you don't see that for years, because I'm always like, they don't get it. But I heard Maddie the other day, I was just telling you, I got her a bunch of clothes, and Maddie didn't ask for a lot, which I was really proud of. Hudson's Christmas list was...
No, she had it in the car. She's all,
Yeah. Add.
Her and Ken were comparing notes.
Yeah.
Ken had one too.
Hudson's Christmas list was long, and we used that wish list. But what's annoying is we would claim it, so then they knew what we claimed.
Oh, no.
So it was stupid.
Yeah.
But Hudson's Christmas list, Hudson falls into my daughter. She's my middle daughter, my redhead daughter. She falls into the middle child for sure, and she likes a sale. So she totally falls into this sale thing on Instagram.
Yeah, so does
so
my
one
daughter.
day she was bugging me that her Christmas list was up 50% off, and I let her order it. I was like, just order it then. So she spent like $200 on her own Christmas list. So when it came in, I'm like, what is this stuff? She's all, when she was opening it, she's like, I ordered these. And I was like, that's so bad. Like that we let them order. But anyways, so Maddie returned half of her stuff, and I was so upset on Christmas that but I used to do the same thing to my mom. My mom still gets the really great gifts, Mom. She really does it. But so we had to go to the store and return it all. And I had told Maddie, hey, you don't get ready all the time. I want you to have some good clothes. So when you want to get ready,
you have them.
You have them. And so the next day, I thought, oh, that was rude. I said that. When you're feeling guilty. Yeah. It's weird. Now that she's old, we have such adult conversations.
Yeah.
That later I'm like, oh, maybe I shouldn't. She's still my daughter. Maybe I shouldn't have told her that.
Right.
Or maybe I shouldn't have said it like that. So at the store, she's like, Mom, this vest, you said my style. So I know she's listening to everything I say. And I'm like, but at the same time, everything I say has so much power. Yeah, weight. Like, because sometimes when you're upset, you'll say something like, and I don't mean it.
I'm feeling bad now, yeah.
Yeah, you don't realize how much weight it has, you know? And when I was reading her text messages, I could hear her saying what I had told her. And I'm like, she, to me, would be like, you're stupid.
Right.
And then she'd go back and be like, yeah, I think we should, like, for instance, say I said, you guys should all go to see Elf. And she'd be like, Mom, that's stupid. Nobody wants to go see Elf. And then I could see her in her text be like, does anyone want to go see Elf? That would be a fun Christmas thing.
Yeah.
So none of that happened, but like she really does listen to what I say, even though she acts like I'm an idiot.
I feel like both my older kids, I've seen text messages where they're listening, and I'm like, oh, they listen.
I know.
They don't act like they're listening.
Now she's snap conversationing everything because it came out that I read all her text messages. So now I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
But I do trust her. She showed me in reading her text messages that I can trust her. So now I'm like trying to trust her more.
Yeah.
But anyways, Christmas, the magic of Christmas, let's sum it up. It was good, but for me, it was really hard.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think we all put those Christmas pressures on ourselves, but we had a lot of family time, which I think will mean something later.
Yeah.
You know, all the things like, and my mother-in-law does a great job.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I didn't do as great of a job with like, if I didn't want to do it, I just didn't do it.
Yeah.
Which was very, in the whole I don't care about much era, it's really great. Like there's so many things we stress ourselves out about, getting this and getting that and buying this. And I just didn't care. But Kyle got me Tommy John. So Dr. Laura always talks about Tommy John on her podcast. It's pajamas. It's like they're turning into like a Lulu. Like they just rebranded and it was real sassy. And I'm like, I bet you Tommy John's going to have an era like Aloe. Sophia took me to Aloe a few years ago and I was like, what's Aloe?
Yeah.
And now it's like having its moment.
Right.
And I feel like Tommy John's going to have the moment now soon because I can tell it's trending that way. Oh my gosh, you guys got to get it. It's the most comfortable pajamas.
Really?
And they're like cuter and they're literally the best pajamas, but they're expensive. So I don't buy expensive things, but Kyle bought it for me.
Yeah.
And it's the best thing. Everybody needs to try Tommy John.
Yeah.
So amazing. Yeah. So Kyle got me that. I got him.
So do you guys get each other gifts?
So we said not to because I didn't really want to buy anything. Yeah. But he did. I think he's a little like, she's a little off her kilter.
Like I'm scared.
Yeah.
I better get her something.
So he got me Tommy John stuff and it was really expensive, but I ended up getting him, it's funny. I got him a drill that Lance said. It's like a electric lug nut remover. And this girl showed up at our house last night, a little weird, late at night with a flat tire that looked like someone cut a hole out. And I was like, great, it's from the TikTok. They're here.
Yeah, they're going to get
They're going to kill us now because of the trending TikTok. But Kyle used it, but we still thought we were getting killed.
Yeah.
Kyle had his gun and he like locked the door while he's changing the tire. And I was like, this is where it ends.
Yeah.
We watched The Best Show. Oh my gosh, you don't like, it's not very dark. It's more suspenseful. It's called, oh my gosh, I forgot the name. It's on Amazon. It's his last name. Oh, I got to look it up. It's The Best Show. The guy is like weirdly attractive. And he's like a cop and his wife dies. And I got to find the name. And it's about him trying to find the killer. And it's like a little killer darkish.
I've never,
I would have never found it.
Mm-hmm. Is it old?
No, it's newer. Chaos. His name is, I forget it. I got to tell you guys though, because it's a horrible story without it. But anyways, it's so good. What else are we talking about?
Oh, the gifts. Yeah, Ben, we don't really do gifts, but if I see something, I'll get it for him. I got him like a shirt. And then I'm not like a big purse person. And Jen, who I love, we always dress similar and she always has the best style. She had this really cute purse. So I was like, send me the purse. Well, it was like kind of expensive. So it wasn't something I'd like buy myself, but I was like, oh, I would want this for Christmas. So I sent it to Ben. I never tell him I want something ever. And
did he get it?
No. And it drives me nuts.
I almost called him and told him like, cause this has happened before.
Every time. And
what did he buy you? Weird stuff?
No, nothing.
Oh, did you buy him stuff?
I got him a shirt.
Oh, so
but it's like
we didn't do gifts, but I sent you the purse.
But I sent you the purse, so I clearly want the purse. And it's so annoying because I feel like I've sent him we've gone through so many things. He's gotten
I gotta call him. I almost called him.
It's like, I don't know, he's the most thoughtful person.
He is, but he misses that stuff.
But he misses the gifts, so I've never seen someone miss something more. I've literally like given him a list before. I like all these things on this list, use them for anniversaries, birthdays. doesn't ever access the list, so I don't even make it anymore. And then he'll buy weird things. I don't want the weird things. And he'll spend a lot of money on them. And it's like, I don't want that.
Yeah, I do that.
And then he's mad when I don't like it. He's like, you're returning? And I'm like, well, yeah, I didn't ask for that. But like all the 50 things I asked for, you didn't get. It's the weirdest thing.
Okay, so I'm Ben. So Kyle will tell me exactly what he wants to. And I don't like buying it because I feel like there's nothing to it. It's not thoughtful. I just bought what you sent me.
But it's thoughtful to buy what I want.
So Kyle's family does the list. The kids make a list. They buy everything on their list.
Yes.
Kyle's family, mom said she wants size 7 Nikes, blue. I'm like, there's no fun in this. Aren't we supposed to think of something she would like and get it for her?
Yeah, but then when she doesn't like it, it's just, it misses the mark.
Oh, see, I think the point is, and Maddie had this. Maddie's like, Mom, I usually like what you get, so just get me some things. Well, now she wants to go buy a curling iron, and we turned all the clothes. And I'm like, maybe that didn't work. Just send me the list, because Hudson, I just bought the list.
And then she was probably happy.
Yeah, but for me, our family, we always, like my sister-in-law, Allie, she buys things you never even knew you wanted, and it's everything.
Yeah.
Like, she's so creative with the... So I think Ben just tries to,
I've rarely gotten a gift from him. I don't think ever, where I'm like, I didn't know I wanted this, and I'm so excited for it. Maybe very rare.
Yeah, Kyle too. So now I just buy what Kyle sends. He sent me shoes. I ordered the shoes.
So I'm so annoyed because now I still want the dang purse.
Just order it yourself.
I know. It's so annoying. But it's like, I don't want to spend that much money on a purse.
It's the same money. You guys have the same account.
I know, but it just feels better when it's not myself.
I agree. I couldn't buy the Tommy John.
That's what I mean.
Because they were expensive.
Yeah.
Guys, the show name is Cross. Kyle just texted me.
Cross?
Cross. It's so good, Tyler.
Really?
So good.
Yeah.
Yeah. We watched it in a day. But
no, I love him to death. He's literally the most thoughtful guy. Like, he's so thoughtful, but he really just does not get the
He's not good with holidays.
No,
I don't feel it. And Kyle's like really good with holidays.
Yeah, Kyle is really good. I'm always jealous of you. You're always getting all these good holiday stuff. And
yeah, he's really good with like birthdays.
It's Mother's Day Sunday. Like, I want handmade things from the kids. Like, it's so whacked. But then he makes my coffee every single day.
Yeah.
Where, like, Kyle is never doing...
I just yelled at him this weekend about...
Like, he gets my gas. He fills my water bottle. He filled my water bottle today.
Kyle is like, you're on your own.
Yeah, everyday thoughtfulness and then gifts, I'm all, huh? You know, I see on Instagram, everyone had a great Mother's Day. I'm all,
That's so funny because Kyle is the opposite, but he gets in trouble for Ben all the time.
Yeah.
I'm all, if Tisha wants to go somewhere, he just says yes. So that's why
say yes,
we're going to Vegas.
But sometimes I have to do some convincing, some things, you know?
Kyle doesn't care about that much, probably because...
It's like a free-for-all at your house. Legs up, you know?
If I was like, he's like, I can get that anyways.
Oh, when we were in Houston, Fox had a birthday, and Ben wanted to drop him off. I'm like, you can't drop him off. He's a kindergartner. Like, what if he has to poop? He's going to ask the mom at the birthday to wipe his butt. Like, kindergarten, the parents still go to the birthdays.
Yeah, and you make friends.
I feel like it's like third grade-ish, fourth grade.
Yeah, even second grade. First grade even.
Third, fourth, you can drop off. No, you can't drop off in kinder. So I'm like, no, you have to go to the birthday. And he's like, I'm not going to this birthday. And I was like, yeah, I'll make it worth your while, you know? So then he's like, okay, I'll go to the birthday. And then at the birthday, he's like, this is awful. I'm never doing this again unless you're offering really crazy stuff.
Did you make it worth his while? I know. Why he falls for it every time. Like, what does making it worth your while mean?
I don't know. Like, I don't know.
No, like, really. Is it still Mishies?
No.
So Tisha really likes Mishies.
The IES. Does everyone know about
Yeah,
the
everyone
IES?
knows. Trust me. Kara was re-listening to episode 1 to see where I offended someone. Mm-hmm. And she's like, we're on the IESs right now. Like, it's so old school to her.
I do feel like we have new listeners. We got to tell them.
Yeah, we told season 1, first episode. But Tisha likes to stick with the same position normally. I feel like.
True. It's like, why mess with a good thing? If it's not broke, don't fix it, you know?
But I feel like you're more adventurous these days. No. So we're still Mishies. So is making it worth your while like a position too?
It's like, yeah, maybe some other things.
Oh, like the foreplay.
Yes.
Oh, but I thought you don't do that.
Well, that's what I was making it worth his while.
Oh, it was like a few minutes.
Yeah, sometimes we do the closet a lot.
So that's making it worth.
My kids would die if they listened to this. Yeah.
It's mom and dad.
Yeah.
I think my mom was so healthy about sex. She made it clear that they loved it.
No, they know we do it a lot.
Yeah, I think it's great. And it's great to know. I always want to know, Mom, did you do, I'll ask her. And she's like, Dad didn't like that.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
How'd you keep it so interesting? Yeah. All right. Well, let's sum it up.
But yeah, so.
Tisha's what's the crazy?
So Kyle doesn't care about that because it's just like a normal Tuesday.
Yeah. It's like there's the session.
So how do you
all the things.
How do you get him to do the things that you want?
That's why I'm having a hard time.
I know. I'm like, you need to dial it back so you have a little leverage.
Well, I like all the things.
I have so much leverage. Oh, like when I wanted to go to New York. So last year, Crystal canceled our annual ski trip last minute because her dad had passed away, so she was going with her family. And we didn't want to go skiing without them because I hate skiing, so I'd be sitting by myself in the room. So I was like, let's go to New York and watch the ball drop. And Ben was like, no, I am not going there. And I was like, we can do it pressed up against the glass, like overlooking the city. And then he was like, every night? And I was like, every night. And so...
Did you do that?
We didn't do it pressed up against the glass, but we did it every night. But
pressed up against the glass is Kyle's favorite.
I know.
See, that's
happening. What I mean. Like, that's happening on a normal day. Like, no, you got to take those things away so they're special.
Oh, yeah. If we walk into a hotel and there's like a view and he's all, huh?
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay.
No, I'm never doing that, ever. Yeah, it's got to be special.
I know, but okay, maybe that's my problem because I can't use that. He'd be like, okay, yeah, you will.
Yeah. No, I use it all the time. It's like my greatest power.
I know. I don't.
Oh, I get whatever I want.
If I told
That's
him,
why I'm like, girls, you don't get it. You have so much power. It's like,
it wouldn't even. I can't even imagine. He'd be like, okay.
Oh yeah, anything. I'm like, hey, can you get this? And he's like, okay, you know, all the time.
All right, well, I'll try that this week.
Yeah, I know. Maybe dial
Guys,
it
we're
back.
going on a ski trip, so we should have some good stories from that too.
Yeah.
All right. Well, till next time.
Thanks for listening.
Welcome to Jerking Around, a podcast that makes you feel better about yourself because we're a mess, just like you.
And Crystal makes fun of me the whole time.
And it's great, and it's real.